Join me on this trip as we go to Norman, Oklahoma to launch a weather balloon with the National Severe Storm Laboratory. It's an experimental instrument and we're going to launch it just ahead of some thunderstorms. So for several years, we've been developing an instrument with the National Severe Storm Lab in Oklahoma that flies on a weather balloon up to 100,000 feet or more sometimes. And we're going to go do a test flight of that. It's going to be really early tomorrow morning before some weather comes in and they want to launch this instrument that measures the electric field. So we're going to head over, it's about lunchtime now the day before, deliver some parts and get checked into an Airbnb and get some work done. We're not even to central Oklahoma yet. We're still 90 miles from Oklahoma City, and it's a lot of nothing still. But it's not that bad of a drive, about 3 hours. While past me is driving over to Norman, I wanted to explain a little bit about what this flight was for. This is an instrument that we designed that has been used since the late 70s, but it's been redesigned over the years as technology continues to improve and the needs of research changes to map the three-dimensional electric field structure of the atmosphere. So it has two spheres that are spinning that let it measure how the charge is flowing between those spheres, and because they're also revolving around a vertical axis, that signal can be post-processed with a bunch of fancy math and turned into an electric field vector. So what magnitude and direction is the electric field? Now that's really cool because storms of all types have different charge structures. And by understanding the charge structure better, we're going to understand lightning hazard and storms better. So that's why the instrument has been made. Now we've updated the instrument significantly in the last year. And the purpose of this flight is to prove that it works. So there's already been one flight, and on that flight there was a rigging issue where the parachute tangled up in the spheres on deployment. Launching balloons is hard. That's kind of all I can say there. And they think they've got that corrected now. So we're going to launch this instrument again and see if we can get it to do a whole flight, not have any issues during that flight. And actually there's going to be some weather moving through. So we're going to try to launch into that. So with that being said, let's get back to the trip. All right, well, a lot of audio book later, we're about to pull in. So we're gonna go to the National Weather Center, drop off some parts for tomorrow's flight, and then go find our Airbnb and get some dinner. Good morning. It's about 6 a.m. and I'm up and around here at the Airbnb that I stayed in. And we've already got storms firing off, so we're going to be heading to the National Weather Center pretty soon. So you can see off to my southwest, I've got a line of severe thunderstorms right now. We're sitting right here. And the storms that are in the area right now are moving off to the northeast, but do have probably some hail associated with them, not too far off to our northeast. If we look at how far that is from us, yeah, about 12 miles from where I'm sitting right now. So this morning, before I head in, I'm going to log in to our Amazon Web Services account and make a couple of code tweaks to how the tracker transmits data back to a dashboard that they can view it on as the balloon is rising and falling. Just a couple of minor things that during the first flight we decided would be better if we handled certain cases a different way. So I'm going to go in and make those code tweaks. We'll load everything in the truck and head over to the National Weather Center and hopefully get ourselves and our gear all hauled in before that line of thunderstorms gets here. So the first step in getting this instrument into the air is to get all the rigging done, which the team had already done before I arrived. And now we need to fill the balloon. So this is a very large balloon compared to a normal weather balloon. This particular balloon is not extra special material or anything like that. During launches in severe weather, sometimes different materials are used so hail doesn't puncture the balloon. But in this case, we're going to just fill it up with helium, and it's in this big yellow sleeve that helps keep it down and makes it easy for it to be handled on the ground. There's a Velcro strip on the top that you're going to see somebody grab and take off with in a little bit to actually launch the balloon. So we were waiting on weather and there was some storms coming through. We were watching them on radar. We let the most intense precipitation get just past us, and then we planned on launching into the stratiform region of rain behind that. Also, it's going to be a lot easier to launch the balloon when it's not just as that weather's getting there.
We take the balloon outside. It's very windy still, and everybody's getting blown around quite a bit. And we get it out to the launch site, which is this parking lot area at the National Weather Center. All the instruments inside the balloon are turned on and the trackers are turned on. And then when it's time and everything's verified, everybody's happy, that top strip is ripped, and that lets the balloon take off out of the yellow bag and go up into the atmosphere. Now, after about a minute, a device should fire that lets it lower down. It's called a letdown reel, to get the balloon and the instrument further separated so the instrument isn't measuring the electric field altered by the presence of the balloon. So the balloon gets launched. As it turns out, there's actually a tornado warning issued during this process, and a tornado on the ground south of Norman. And then later one on the ground just east of Norman by Lake Thunderbird, which is actually where the balloon flew over just after the tornado occurred. So we got a launch into some pretty interesting conditions. Now, unfortunately, you'll see in the video at the very end, if you watch closely, that about 30 seconds into the flight or a little more, it looks like the instrument changes. It somehow starts swinging differently under the balloon. And we couldn't tell what was going on during this. So we just said, well, we've got to go get the instrument anyway. The cut down device was set to cut the instrument after 1 hour of flight, or when it reached about 33,000 feet. And we started on about an hour-long drive to go get it, or a little bit more. I was getting updates on the tracking from the tracker that we developed.
Definitely sold on the launch detection on the
Me too.
dumb one.
Yeah.
All right, so we've come to where the balloon has landed. We're trying to contact a landowner to get permission to go on the land and go try to find the balloon. Hopefully it's not in a tree. It looks like it's in a field near trees, but hopefully it's not in a tree. You don't have to cut it down. So we'll see what happens. After driving out there, we were able to locate where the balloon was. It was just a little bit of a hike off the road, and it couldn't make it too easy on us. It did land in a patch of briars, but the instrument itself was outside of the patch of briars. It was just the parachute and the cut down and some of the rigging that were in the briars, but we were able to get it all out using a long retrieval stick. So we got the instrument back, and it was pretty clear that one end of the instrument had separated early in the flight, and we weren't really sure what was going on there. And that's going to be another story for another video as we try to figure out and troubleshoot what happened and do another test flight. So was this flight successful? Well, not totally. The instrument didn't stay in one piece for the duration of the flight. It did collect data the whole time. Those data files look good. There are a couple small things that we want to change in the firmware and a couple mechanical things that we found that we want to change, but that's why we do test flights. It takes multiple tries at doing something like this. It's a complex instrument, launching balloons into a harsh environment. It's just, there's a lot to consider, and rarely, even with well-tuned systems, does it go perfectly 100% of the time. So with a new system, we expected there to be a little bit of pain getting those initial successful launches. And overall, I'm pretty happy, really. Everybody worked together. We got the instrument out. We actually got the instrument out in a meteorologically interesting condition, flew and recovered the instrument, and it's going to be ready to go again in about another week for another test flight after we debrief this one and make some changes. So be sure to stay tuned for that.